What's going on, everybody? Joe Maxey here with Maxco Total Solutions. So starting to get things rolling this month, which is pretty great. I've done a few videos like this, but I haven't actually put them up anywhere. You may see those, you may not. I haven't really decided yet. A lot of getting started with this is just getting comfortable and kind of feeling out how you like your process to go and what you want to say. And a lot of times you end up learning one thing a little bit later, you know, whether that's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 3 days, 3 weeks after you already recorded a video, and then you go, all right, maybe that content's not quite as useful as I thought it was. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some good little nuggets in some of the videos that I've recorded, but I think that I could have done them better. And I think as I've learned and gained more experience, it's just kind of irrelevant information. So not necessarily going to put any of those out, but I figured I'd at least put out a video today. I did hit a milestone today. So 2 things that were pretty cool. I did my first $1,000 job. At this moment, I think it stands at $1,045. Plus, there's probably going to be overage charges to protect me. So I should net profit roughly $1,000 on this job, give or take, depending on exactly what these couple trailers, 3 trailers in total, weigh. So I rented out, first things first, he called me up yesterday. He said, hey, I need your biggest container that you have. I'm doing a roof job, and I'm gonna need it dumped in the middle of the job because they're doing what used to be a, what do you call that? The ceramic, not ceramic, are they clay? Whatever the roofing, not shingles, but tiles, whatever you call the tiles. Anyway, so he said, bring one out first thing Monday morning. Crew will be there 7:30. You know, I told him I can get it there by 8. I ended up being, I think, 7:45, 7:50. I know people like, contractors especially, like to have tools on site, get the job done early, so I figured I wouldn't leave them hanging. When I pulled up, they already had a Home Depot dump trailer, which I didn't know Home Depot even did dump trailers. That's another story. Home Depot dump trailer in the driveway, full, just taking up space. So told me where they wanted the bin, which I got a picture of where I actually put it. So you'll be, I don't know, the picture doesn't really do it justice, but long story short, I put it between a pole and a tree. That was incredibly tight, not a very easy position to put it in. And you know, let's be real, I've been doing this job now for a month. Before that, I had never driven a dump trailer in my life, and now I'm backing it into tight spaces, pulling it up to the front door basically so they can throw off shingles from the roof. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. So anyway, as I'm finishing up, I'm unlatching the trailer. They're already throwing stuff in. I haven't even unhooked the coupler yet, which I thought was pretty funny. So I unhook the trailer, and one of the workers walks up with his phone and goes, hey, can you talk to this guy? And the guy is the, I guess probably the owner of the contracting company that was doing the roof. He says, hey, I got this Home Depot bin here. I need to get this dumped. Can you dump it for me? I said, why not? So my original 2 dump job turned into a 3 dump job. The third one being their trailer, which I'm just hauling to the dump, hauling back. I haven't actually been asked that question before, so I wasn't 100% prepared for what my cost was going to be. But thankfully, I have been watching a lot of you YouTube mentors. Shout out Hustle Nation, Jesse Mims, Life's Apprentice, American AF Dumpsters. All these guys are awesome tools to use. I've been incredibly gracious to be able to, you know, literally watch the ins and outs of people that are doing this business and making good money long before I ever even touched this conversation on how to do it. So I've been just absorbing every piece of content that I can from all those guys and a couple other ones, but those are, I would say, my primary learning tools. I've been gaining a ton of knowledge from them, watching their videos day in, day out, and they touch on these topics a lot. I know Robert with Hustle Nation specifically has been one that's talked about doing dumps for other people. I want to say, and don't quote me if I'm wrong, so I apologize, Robert, if I am. I want to say he had said at one point in a video he charges $175 and then they pay the dump fee. So that's kind of where my mind went. I don't know how much this is going to weigh, but I did tell him somewhere in the ballpark of probably $250 to $300 would be what it costs to dump this load. I'm guesstimating it's probably close to 2 tons, but I don't really know. So I guess we're gonna find out. So yeah, like I said, I did $295, guesstimating a 2-ton load. It's not even my trailer. The one thing I will say that's really not ideal about this is I had to drive about 40 minutes. Haven't even got to the dump yet. I'm on my way. I'll be there in just a minute. Had to drive about 45 minutes with this bin on the back. These tiles are pretty much to the brim in the back and really close to empty in the front, which if anyone's ever pulled a trailer knows that is definitely not the way you want your trailer loaded when you're hauling it, and I'm driving quite a distance. The one thing that scares me, which is why I didn't shuffle it too much, is that this is a Home Depot trailer. I have no experience with it, and I don't know what the heck this thing's capable of lifting once I actually get to the dump. So I shuffled a little bit toward the front, but I didn't go crazy with it. I don't want to get in a position where I'm at the dump having to offload this thing by hand. I don't have the tools to do that. That would definitely put a damper in my day. So we are gonna hope that this just works out well. One thing I will say, if you're ever in this position, be smart. Make sure that you actually check that you have all the proper things needed to actually dump the trailer, because I had to do the invoicing in the car for this task before I actually left with it, because I wanted to be smart. I wanted to get paid. This is a person who I'm doing the job for the first time. He already paid me in full for the first 2 dumps, so I think we're good, minus overage. You know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, you know, I'm already dealing with someone who's paid me ahead of time. I'm not very, very concerned about it, but I did want to cover my own backside before I hook up, drive an hour, and then not get paid while I pay to dump someone else's stuff. Not an ideal position to be in. So I sent the invoice immediately in the car. He had paid me as I was pulling out with it, basically. So while I was doing the invoice, one of the roofing guys who has experience with this trailer was, you know, guided me back and then actually hooked up the trailer while I was doing the invoicing in the car. Very nice of him to do, but also very sketchy as the operator to be relying on someone else's work, okay? So A, you want to double check all their work, make sure that your chains are hooked up, make sure that you have the coupler locked on nicely. But the one thing I didn't think about until I actually had pulled away with it and I had turned off into the next neighborhood to double check, make sure that you can access the hydraulic pump. Because if I had drove an hour here and an hour back and then an hour here and then an hour back, I would be one unhappy camper. I imagine I'd probably charge them more, and I'd be pissed off at myself for being so stupid. So I pulled off into the next neighborhood. First thought came to mind. I opened up the bin. It was unlocked, thankfully. I checked the battery, which was all the way full, and then I just did a quick one up, one down, just to make sure that the bin made some noise and did a little lifting. So all good in that regard. Now driving it, I haven't really been able to go above 55, 60. One, not really smart to do anyway with the way that this is loaded. But two, at one point I actually started to get the wobbles just the slightest bit when I started going into that 60, 65 range. And if you've ever hauled a trailer that has a little weight to it, the wobbles is one of the scariest things that you can encounter. Definitely don't want a position where I am either A, the dangerous guy on the road who hits somebody, or they hit me, or I can't stop, or I spill my load all over the place. That could lead to a lot of fines and citations and, you know, possibly end my career before it even really gets going. So you want to be smart with all that stuff. Don't be dumb. Make sure that you're operating safely. Make sure that you check out all the equipment, whether it's yours or someone else's. Do a walk around 100% of the time. Make sure your doors are latched. You know, you gotta be on top of your game, because you might be real happy making that, you know, $100, $150, $200, $250 profit on that one bin that one day, but you're going to be a real unhappy camper if that ends up leading to a $500, $1,500, $100 fine plus hours of your time if you're, dropping stuff on the road. There's any number of things that can happen. And then obviously outside of the monetary side of the conversation, you want to make sure that safety comes first, because if you don't get home to your family, then what are we doing this for anyway? So with that said, I am going to be pulling up to the dump here in one traffic light, so we'll call it 2 minutes. Let me dump it, see how much it weighs, and we'll go from there. All right, so I just left the dump. I had dumped so it was clean roofing tiles. Clean meaning no wood or anything like that. I just learned that expression as well. So the guy, I'm grateful for the learning experience. Wish he would have told me on the way in, not the way out. But the guy at the dump, when I was pulling out, said, "Hey, do you know that place PAW over there on 54? I said, that's the place with all the construction, not the construction, the cement trucks that are running through there all the time? He said, yeah, they'll actually take clean roofing tile for free. I'm grateful to know that the next time. That's my $141 lesson for the day. So it was 3.5 tons. It was 141 bucks to dump at $45 a ton. I guess they charge 45 for clean roofing tiles. I think it's 65 for general construction and 71 I think it is for miscellaneous household cleanup, yard debris, that kind of shit. So stuff. YouTube. Sorry. So really good to know for the next time. I don't know how many tile roofs I'm going to be doing. Most of the houses in this area are shingle, but we do have some Spanish style houses that have the roofing tile. So I'll know on the next one. Hopefully the $141 lesson really sinks in and I know it for the next time. So that's really, really good to know. I mean, saving 150 bucks, give or take, on every roof job that's that size will be awesome. Plus, I'm almost 100% that one of the 2 bins that I'm about to dump is going to be more of those roofing tiles. So we will see exactly what all we're getting into here in a little bit. I'm bringing the trailer back to them now. So nothing like a good 3-4 hours worth of work. Already made $1,000 for the day. So profit-wise, probably somewhere in the $900 to $1,000 range. I just got to see when it's all said and done. I did tell the client that it was good for 2 tons. The weight was 3.5, so I am going to charge him an overage on the 1.5 tons extra. But I'm going to wait until we do all 3 bins before I worry too much about the overage charge, because I don't want to, we're already up to 2 transactions. I don't want to add a 3rd, then a 4th, and then a 5th if I end up being over on both bin 2 and 3 now. So I'm just going to, I've already collected a good amount of money. There's no way he can really put me in the negative on this job. It's a learning experience also, so even if I don't maximize my profit, gaining that knowledge is worth every dollar, even if I didn't collect every overage fee. But guy's been super easy to deal with. He's a house flipper, and it looks like this is a flip house that he's putting together. So he's all about getting the job done quickly and proficiently, and I think he's really happy to have someone like myself who provides a service like I do, where not only did I bring a bin out to him early, I brought a bin out to him, dumped another bin. I'm doing another dump for him somewhere down the road this week. In a perfect world, I'm gonna get back there and those guys have just knocked out the rest of the roof and they want me to dump my bin. That would be fantastic. We'll cross that bridge when the time gets there. I'm not rushing them through the job. I'll be excited to pick it up in 2 days, 3 days, whatever the case may be, and we will go from there. Thank you guys. We will see you on the next video. Well, I can tell you one thing for certain. Today has been the most interesting day since I started doing my trailer thing. So I just brought back the Home Depot trailer, got that dumped, and granted, I hope I understood what they were saying, because there is quite a language barrier, but what appears to be the head of the job crew When I asked him how much longer they needed, he said 30 minutes. So I'm gonna kill a little time. I'm about 45 minutes from the house and the shop. So I'm just gonna kill a little bit of time down here, probably go get myself some breakfast, use the restroom, all that good stuff, and then go pick it up and then dump it and then bring it back. So I'll be seeing these guys a lot today. Works for me though. He said realistically they needed the trailer for the length of the job. He booked it for a week, but if we have the full front half of it done now, then that means I'm good for the back half to just pick up probably in 2 or 3 days if I had to guess. So that'll be pretty awesome. Definitely happy to be getting that little bit of extra revenue and doing the job kind of quickly and proficiently rather than sporadically throughout the week. So I'm excited. Yeah, it's been a cool day. I'm excited to see what the results of this job finalizing are, and then we'll go from there. Right, so without a question, I don't even have to go over scales yet. This is by far the heaviest load I've ever hauled in my life.